Hello and welcome to Point of View. I'm Tania Nugent and it's great to have your company again today. Thanks for joining us. Coming up today we'll be discussing volunteering. What are the benefits to us as individuals and for our communities? And working with young people to break the cycle of violence in our society. Well, as always, I'd like to acknowledge my fellow panelists. We have Isabel Drummer joining us today on the program. Cleo's not well today, and Phil McKelligai. Philly, thanks very much again for coming in. And our guest on the program today is an incredible young woman, co-founder and country manager of the organisation Equal Playing Field. Jackie Joseph is with us. Jackie, thanks. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
I'm very happy to be part of the program.
Well, Jackie, Equal Playing Field is an organisation that works with young people through sport to address gender-based violence, and we will get around to talking about that later on the program and some of the successes of Equal Playing Field. But first, it's time to celebrate an achievement. The Commonwealth Pacific Young Person of the Year, which was awarded to Jackie in March this year. Hooray! Congratulations, Jackie, on this very prestigious award. We've got some images of you receiving the award at the Marlborough House in London, which is the Commonwealth headquarters. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like.
Well, I think first, it was like the first time to be in London. So it was a really new experience to be in London. And especially meeting up with the other 3 regional winners was a really big thing. Because I guess for me, it was the first time for me to get to know their stories and their projects, and really, really amazing. At the same time, the program itself was made up in a way that we got to interact with the Commonwealth staff as well there. And we got a chance to also participate in the Commonwealth Youth Service. So usually the award ceremony is done during the period that the forgot what they call it, the Week of the Commonwealth, I think.
Okay.
And that's the week that the royal family also attends the church service as well. So
oh my gosh.
It was a good opportunity
Did you meet the royal family?
I did meet Prince Charles though, yes. And got to meet, not actually meet, but we attended the church service along with the Queen as well. So
oh my gosh.
Well, very, very good experience.
Yeah. Amazing.
With this award, you said that you won the regional award. So every other Pacific country, Papua New Guinea won that award. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. So the Pacific title, it's opened up to all the other Pacific Island countries, and then they all you all put in the same pool, and then once it's selected, then one country from the Pacific wins that title. So amongst all the Pacific Island countries, Papua New Guinea won.
And that includes also Australia and New Zealand.
That's right.
Is included in the Commonwealth as a Pacific nation. And I have to add to that, actually, that not only was Papua New Guinea the winner of the Pacific category, but there were only 3 finalists in the Pacific category, and the other one was a Papua New Guinean as well.
Wow.
And there was an Australian guy. So pretty good,
That's
both
amazing.
women.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What was it like being surrounded by other winners, other people who won other prestigious awards? And what was that like being at that?
You feel really honored to be part of that experience with them, because you hear about the amazing work they do, and you're like, wow, I'm amongst them.
Yeah.
So really like privileged moment to be amongst these young people as well.
What kind of prizes do you get? What's the win like?
So with the award, you get to, I think it's about, first of all, once you become a finalist, you win £1,000. And as being a regional winner, you win another £2,000 as well.
Yeah. Okay, so that's like £5,000. That's like more than 10 grand.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And is that to facilitate, that to further, the work that you do?
Yes, to help with the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm in the same room as someone who's met the Queen.
I know, amazing, right? Well, it's time for a very quick break now, and when we come back, we'll hear more from Jackie about how Equal Playing Field is having an impact on the development of young people in Papua New Guinea. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. Our guest today is Jackie Joseph, who is the co-founder and country manager of Equal Playing Field, which is a not-for-profit organisation that works with young people through sport to address gender equality and gender-based violence. Through the organisation, Jackie educates around 2,000 13 to 15-year-old girls and boys in schools around the country every year about the importance of respectful relationships as a way to reduce family and sexual violence. Within just 2 years of operating, Equal Playing Field has trained 90 volunteer facilitators who have worked with over 4,000 young people and 80 teachers in over 18 schools. That's a lot of people that your program has touched. Give us an idea of a description of the work that Equal Playing Field does.
Sure. First of all, Equal Playing Field is founded on the belief that violence against women is preventable, and that open and honest discussions about gender equality and respectful relationships during adolescence have the power to change the attitudes that allow for violence against women to occur. The program is structured in a way that we run an 8-week program, and this 8-week program has, each week we would go to a school, and it's a 1 hour 45-minute session. So for 1 hour we do a shared talk session on respectful relationship. So 1 week the kids will learn about what it means to be part of a good team and what are some things you find in a good team. And kids start contributing. In a good team, people support each other, people communicate, people encourage each other, and we attribute that to being in a good team is a lot like being in a good relationship, because most of the time the same characteristics that you find in a good team, you will also find it in a good relationship as well. In another week they could be covering a topic on setting boundaries, where we ask them, can you see the boundaries on a sporting field? And they say, yeah, very clear. Sometimes the white lines are there. How about in a relationship? And then they start nodding their heads and they say, no, we can't see it. Then we try to tell them, these are different ways you can communicate what your boundaries are. These are different ways that you can tell that this is a boundary when you start feeling uncomfortable. We also go on to talk about support networks, where there's always somebody that you can go to get help from. And we try to list out what are some of the qualities of a support person: somebody who you can trust, somebody who you know is going to help you. So there are all these different qualities that we help them to understand what they are, and then within the process try to get them to develop their own support network of people around them that they can identify to get help from. So really the program is structured in a way that, yes, we do want to see attitude change, but at the same time it's really about getting young people to realize what a respectful relationship, and during that age they start knowing what a good relationship, what are qualities that they should be able to have in whatever kinds of relationship, either with the moms and dads, with their teachers at school, with their classmates, even boyfriend and girlfriend relationships as well. And more so, we hope that that in turn promotes gender equality amongst boys and girls, especially in a school setting.
That's amazing. I know that you said you just got back from Bougainville. Have you opened something up there as well, and how's that going?
That's
Yes.
right. So Equal Playing Field operates out of 2 provinces at the moment, and that's NCD, funded by the Australian government in partnership with Plan International Australia. And in Bougainville, we're funded by UNICEF. So with the Bougainville office, we opened up just early this year, and we have another load of young volunteers who have been recruited down there. We've got about 6 staff who work there as well, and they pretty much run the same program we run here in NCD as well.
That's amazing. How do, in terms of, you set boundaries for students, I mean kids, right? And when they're reaching the ages of like teenage ages, right? Adolescents and all that. In NGI province, they have this thing, custom boundaries. How do you set up like sporting events that facilitate for like these cultural boundaries? So you can't, like, how do I say this, for example? The guys can't play with girls, girls can't play with guys. How do you set games for them to, in order for them to teach and work together? How do you do that?
It's a very different atmosphere within Equal Playing Field with our program. Really, when we start off our programs, we get the kids to understand that it's a very neutral space amongst themselves. And really, in schools, even here in NCD, and we're finding out in Bougainville as well, it's the same thing. Boys and girls never play together, and it's only when we go there, they start learning how to play together. And I think it's a good thing because boys and girls never get to interact that much with each other until we've gone and started running out of our program. I recall there was a time back, must have been last year, where we ran off one of our programs, and usually we work with grade 7s, and the grade 7 students normally play with them just amongst themselves. But after seeing that boys and girls in grade 7 were playing together, the grade 6s were doing that. They were playing together as boys and girls. And we thought it was a pretty good thing that they were actually playing together. Whereas before, you wouldn't see them playing together.
Yeah, there's been some pretty remarkable outcomes, but I'm just wondering, why was sport chosen as the tool that could deliver these messages? And you have been recognised, the model that you have developed here has actually been recognised as emerging best practice at 2 recent international conferences, one in Fiji and one in Australia. And you have used sport, but is this something that can be applied to other areas? Is this model, can you do it, for example, with theatre? Could you do it with music and art? Or is it something that needs sport to be there?
I think there's definitely all these different opportunities how sports can be used as a tool. We feel like it really depends down on how people can be able to think about things in a really creative way. We use sports to try to address gender-based violence. There are other programs out there who are also using sports for tourism or sports for other things, for promoting culture. So I think there is definitely that opportunity out there for anybody who can be able to harness the tool of sports.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a very quick break now, and as we go to the break, here's a quote by Havelock Ellis, who's an English physician, writer and a progressive and social reformer. And this kind of sums up a little bit about what Jackie and Equal Playing Field is all about to me. The quote is fantastic. It says, "If men and women are to understand each other, to enter into each other's nature with mutual sympathy and to become capable of genuine comradeship, the foundation must be laid in youth." Fantastic. I think that really sums up Equal Playing Field. And when we return, we will discuss exactly why the teenage years are such an important time for boys to learn to understand girls and for girls to learn to understand boys. Back soon. Welcome back to Point of View, and we've been talking about the work that Jackie Joseph and her organisation Equal Playing Field do with our youth, specifically around gender equality and addressing gender-based violence. And that great quote that I gave just before the break by Havelock Ellis, "If men and women are to understand each other, to enter into each other's nature with mutual sympathy and become capable of genuine comradeship, the foundation must be laid in youth." So what are some aspects of our society in Papua New Guinea that affect the way our young people can learn to understand each other? I mean, Izzy just touched on it earlier about custom behaviours. What are some of the things in your experience, Jackie, that you find that can affect that coming together and understanding?
Yeah, I think even till now, there's still a lot of social norms that exist around us, like simple things like how, you'd always see a woman in the kitchen and the man wouldn't be too much in the kitchen. And while as a child is growing up, they're seeing all of that happen. And there's not really anybody there around them who's challenging the difference between gender roles and what the difference between especially sex and gender. And that's where we believe that as an organization, we are coming to help young people for the first time start questioning some of these gender roles that many times boys seem to think that it's only girls' duties, when in fact that's not the case. Yeah.
I think you're very, very correct in saying that, because many of the roles define us as human beings, and our interactions are really based on those roles, especially in like, for example, in our culture, my culture. Women are just housework, you house girl. So when we go out to play sports, you sit down past them, let them all monkey play. I'm going to say this. They say, you can't have something to money, you'll play. You sit down loud now, go cook,
Yeah.
That's what they say. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Those cultural norms really, really define that space and that huge gap.
Yeah, well, but that thing about, Izzy touched on about, boys are not allowed, that divide between boys and girls. How does that affect the development of young people going into adulthood and their attitudes towards the opposite sex and what they can and can't do?
I think in such a big way, in the way that boys relate to the girls and how the girls relate to the boys as well. Some of the examples that there's a particular week that we cover, which is week 3, which is everyone's equal. And this is the week where, for the first time, we get to ask the question to the children. We'd ask this question like, when was the time when you realized that as a boy you were different, or as a girl you were different? And it's so funny, but just yesterday my staff came over and told me a story about a boy who told a little personal experience about how he was able to know that he was a boy and that he was different from a girl. And from that experience, like from that story that this little boy shared, like to myself, I just thought to myself, it's these social norms that actually then help boys and girls realize that they were different. But the very fact that this young boy was able to share his story, and it was like a really good story of this boy saying, like, okay, that's when he felt he was different.
What was it?
So the story was like this. He said that he had an aunt who used to put a lot of makeup on, and he said that one day he decided to put on those makeup, not realizing that when he had that and he went to school with it, then everybody was laughing at him. And that's when he realized that somebody came up to him and told him only girls put that.
Oh, that makes me sad that he was told that.
Yeah, he was told that. And when I had that example that my staff came and told me, I was like, wow, these are little things that then bring up these differences between, sex and gender roles. Yeah. They're really, really, really confused. Yeah.
Boys, if you want to wear makeup, I really don't have a problem with that. Just express yourselves.
That's fine. Yeah. And another thing is with clothes too, like the color, the colors define immediately when you're younger. Think, oh, pink is for girls, and then boys are like, ugh, pink.
Oh, I hate that. My brothers wear pink all the time, and I'll just like make fun of them.
Pink looks good on guys.
Yeah, I think it brings out
melanin skin pops in pink. Wear pink, boys.
But even into adulthood, I'm going to just put it out there. Is it okay in our society for men and women to just be platonic friends? Like, with nothing platonic. By platonic, I mean, just friends without any other desires.
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
In real life, in this country, I don't think so, because I've, experienced guys who like, oh, we're friends. Next minute, when they're drunk, like, you doing? How you doing? No.
Like, in this context, like, for example, if it's a male friend who you don't have any other connections with, like, immediately in you, like, your antennas are up, like, okay.
Yes.
You're still very conscious, like, okay, are they really friends? Do they really want to be genuinely friends with me? Or you still have, like, that side thought that, okay, it might be something else.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not until you get to really know them. Like, I've had, like, a couple of friends who, like, sometimes I'm very careful with. And then when I realize, no, they're actually genuine friends, then I know that they are genuine friends. But then there's always that thing at the back of your mind where you're still very cautious.
Unless he's your blood, then
Yeah. It's just such a pain in the butt to negotiate, because I come from a different space altogether. If you'd asked me this question 2 years ago, I would have said, of course, that'd be ridiculous. Men and women, I've got heaps of male friends. We're mates, we're colleagues, it's equal, respectful, all of that. But I've actually found it quite different being back home. Yeah, I have to say. It's like, you've always got to have that, what you said, that antenna up, that alert, just in case. Yeah. Which makes me sad, because I like being friends with guys.
Yeah, me too.
They're nice people to hang out with.
They're okay.
Yeah,
I mean, if you find genuine male friends, that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Like, really good thing.
Yeah.
Most of them are from, that we are the ones that we make in our childhood. They tend to keep those boundaries. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, many non-government organisations like Equal Playing Field simply couldn't do what they do without the support of volunteers. So when we return, we're going to hear the experiences of young Papua New Guineans who have given and grown through the humble act of volunteering. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. Well, many community and not-for-profit organisations like Equal Playing Field rely on the support of volunteers to achieve what they set out to do. So I just wanted to talk about the spirit of volunteerism. It is a crucial part of the success of your program, isn't it, Jackie?
It is. I mean, without volunteers, I don't think so we'll be able to deliver on our own the program we run. And I believe it's a really great thing to have volunteers because they bring on especially the support that we need, the team spirit that we really need to run off our program. The PNG World Supermodel, you would have engaged quite a bit of volunteerism.
Yes, we have a lot of volunteers who want the experience in this industry, working backstage, helping out. They build their confidence, they build different characters, and they gain a lot from the experience. So volunteers are so necessary and so vital to basically anything.
Yeah. What are your experiences, Izzy? Have you ever done any volunteering?
I've done lots of volunteering. Yeah. I've done volunteering in theatre, and I've done volunteering for the Cancer Foundation. That was really good, and I can tell you it's really fun, and you gain a lot of, and you learn a lot of things too. So yeah.
That's how I started to get into my industry. I volunteered.
Yeah.
I went backstage, I learned who was who, I did whatever I needed to do.
And it's fun, meeting a lot of people. You get a lot of things back as well as you give.
Exactly the same thing for me. That's where I started off in volunteering as well.
Yeah, I'd encourage everyone to have a go, not just young people either. You not only gain new skills and knowledge, you also can increase your chances of getting a job. I've got some great examples of that. There's also that sense of achievement, like, doing something good just makes you feel good and boosts your self-esteem. It expands your networks and your connections. There's just so many good things about it. Yes, volunteering has so many benefits, but don't just take our word for it. Isabel went out and spoke to a couple of young volunteers who were happy to share their experience with us.
Thanks, Tania. Well, it's just as Jackie said, it's a program that teaches gender equality through one of my favorite activities, and that's sports. It's going to be super fun and super amazing. I can't wait to chat with some of the volunteers on how the program is run, as well as talk to some of the students on what they have learned. So let's go take a look. Together, guys. 1, 2. Treat people how you want to be treated. How do you start the programs in the morning?
Well, usually we start off with an energizer with the team, and then later on we just go out to the kids.
What are some of the activities you do in the program?
So each week we have a key message, and we just deliver each. We have a toolkit, and so we go by the toolkit. So yeah.
And what made you want to take up volunteering in this particular program?
Because I love kids, and when I saw the opportunity that Equal Playing Field was advertising for new volunteers, I wanted to join because I'm very passionate about working with kids and giving them a chance. When I was at the age, I never had Equal Playing Field, and I was all over the place. But now I try to teach them and try to be like a big brother and a role model to them, to tell them to do the right things and try to do the things that I haven't done. So that's what I try to do with the kids. So I'm very passionate about teaching the kids and about good topics and to improve their behavior.
Do you enjoy what you're doing?
Yes, I love it. I look forward to Wednesdays and Thursdays because those are the days that I am scheduled for. So when it comes to those days, like, doesn't matter what happens during the week, but when you get to the schools and the kids see you like maybe second week and they remember your name, they're like, hey, hi Iska, good to see you. And then they give you feedback like, oh yeah, I learned this new word, respectful, or empathy and all that. Like, it's a good feedback and it encourages you to keep on doing it. So yeah, I enjoy it.
All right, so what do you hope to get out of this?
What I hope to get out of this is see most of these kids achieve something good in their lives. Yeah.
stuff, guys. Wonderful work. And thank you to the volunteers who took time to help teaching these kids about gender equality. Well, that's all the time we have for in Street View. It's time to head back to the panel for more discussion.
And a big high five to all the volunteers out there. I actually have a really cool story about a volunteer I have to share with everybody. Filmer, you're going to love this one. When I was producing the opening ceremony of the Pacific Games, we probably had about 1,000 young people volunteer, and hopefully they had the time of their lives. We had this one young woman who was volunteering in the workshop. So she was in there with all the boys in her dirty jeans, you know, getting her hands dirty, making the props and bending bamboo and all of this. And that week I was casting for my placard bearers, who are the models that carry the country signs. And I just sort of wanted to throw the thing open far and wide. So I just went out and said to all the girls in the workshop, do you want to come and audition to be a placard bearer? Well, a young woman was there, very tall, very striking looking young woman by the name of Sheila Yama. And she came, put her hand up, never done any sort of modelling in her life before, put her hand up, auditioned. Of course, she was selected as one of the 24 girls to be placard bearers. And just this month, young Sheila Yama was crowned PNG World Supermodel. So there you go. Oh, that's what volunteering does. It can put you on a completely new path, you know. She'd never even contemplated doing anything like that before, she said.
Yeah, as soon as, because I was, you know, looking for models as well, and Tania's like, oh, Sheila Yama. Immediately contacted her.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she wasn't in the loop that the others were. So. Yeah, there's talent everywhere. Yep. And in a famous quote, again, I'm in the mood for quoting on this show today, about volunteering, not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. That's Albert Einstein, a very smart man. We're going to take a very quick break now. We'll be back soon with more. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about sport now, because we are talking about equal playing field, and to which in this instance sport is just the tool, it's just the vehicle. But it's a good one because Papua New Guinea is a sport-loving nation. We've got lots of young people, lots of energy, and they love their sport. Rugby league, of course, is the king of sports here, but there are lots of other sports that are popular, including all the football codes like Aussie rules, soccer, rugby union, and we've got cricket, volleyball, softball, netball, basketball. But, you know, really these are quite conventional and well-known sports. There are a lot of other crazy and weird sports that are out there. So we're going to find out what they are. Some of them are quite strange. So here is our strange sports quiz. The Point of View strange sports quiz. Okay, question number 1. Cheese rolling is a sport from... Yes, it is a sport. A, England, B, Switzerland, or C, Spain. Lisa, you go first.
I don't know why anyone would roll cheese when you can eat it. Probably B.
B, Switzerland?
Yeah, I think Switzerland.
I probably would go for B as well.
Yeah, well, Switzerland is famous for its cheese, but England is more famous for crazy people, and it's England.
Oh my God.
It's in England every year. Have a look at this, and we've got some pictures of it. Every year, from the top of Cooper's Hill near Gloucester, England, they roll a cheese down the hill, and everyone has to chase it. That's pretty much what it is.
It's not rolling out the cheese, it's rolling the cheese.
You roll, everyone's at the top of the hill. Have a look at this footage there. They just roll the cheese and everyone has to chase it, and the person that catches the cheese
gets to eat it.
That wins, and that's their prize.
That's crazy.
I know, it's like, why? Okay, question number 2. The sport of extreme ironing. Yes, it's a sport. The sport of extreme ironing involves what? A, ironing while doing extreme sports, B, ironing in an extreme location, or C, ironing in extreme temperature. Izzy, extreme ironing.
Whoa.
A, B, or C?
Probably B.
Okay, Philly.
I'm gonna go C.
C?
I'll go B as well.
Okay, well the answer is all of the above.
Oh, no.
Extreme ironing is ironing in a remote place or in an extreme way. So it could mean ironing underwater. It could be on the edge of a cliff. It could be doing a handstand. I know. Well, that's the thing. I don't think that's the point.
You call that sport?
Oh no. The highest sport, and the name of these people who practice this sport are called ironists. and it's true. And they actually have a world champ. They literally have the world champions every year. But this is how the sport started. It was this guy called Phil Shaw, again from London, England. Sorry, and another crazy sport. He came home from work to all this pile of laundry, and instead he wanted to go rock climbing. So he decided to take the ironing and go rock climbing, and that is how extreme ironing was born. True story.
Yes.
True story.
One way to make
Makes me feel like I can invent any sport.
Oh yeah. Wait, there's more. Okay, chess boxing is a sport. Is this true or false? Chess boxing.
It's true because I want to knock someone out when I don't win chess.
I think it's true. I think it's true. Knowing the humans of this world.
Chess boxing. What? You think it's true?
I think it's true.
Yes, the answer is correct. Chess boxing is actually a sport. It was invented by a cartoonist at the
Is he from England?
At the turn of the 21st century, and it consists of 11 rounds alternating between chess and boxing. So 1 round of chess, 1 round of boxing, 1 round of chess, until you can win either with a knockout or a checkmate or a judge's. This is true.
I think I want to play that now.
This is actually true stuff.
We should play that here. Jesus.
So it started in London.
Again, I think this sounds like an English sport. I didn't get the origin of this one, but anyway, question number 4.
Gosh.
Toe wrestling. Yes, it's a sport. Toe wrestling was invented, A, by 4 men in a bar, B, because the British wanted to be world championships at something, so they just invented it, or C, after the inventors already first tried ear wrestling and push-a-ball. Which one is it? Toe wrestling was invented.
I'm going to go with the most radical one, and that's C.
C?
I'm going to go with B, because the British need to be world champions.
I'm going to go with A then, by the 4 men in the bar.
Well, all of you are 1/3 right, because that's all correct.
No way.
Basically, this was in the 1970s, and England wasn't winning any world championships. So these guys decided they needed to invent a brand new sport that only they would play. And
we
then
don't want to be part of your game.
They would hold a world championship. This is actually true. And the first one they tried was ear wrestling. I don't know how. The second one was push-a-ball instead of tug-of-war. It was the opposite, where you push. That didn't work. So then they went to toe wrestling. And every year they have the world championships in Derbyshire in England of toe wrestling. Another thing about toe wrestling is it's polite to you have to take your opponent's shoes off. So he takes your shoes off, you take his, and then you sit down and you toe wrestle. It's just nuts. Okay,
my God.
We've got 2 more questions in our strange sports quiz. Question number 5, cardboard tube fighting.
Huh?
Cardboard tube fighting, is it a sport? True or false?
Mate, now I think anything is true. Anything is sport. Yes, true.
After all the other questions.
Of course it's true. I don't have that much of an imagination, but yes, there is cardboard tube fighting. You know the Glad wrap tube, the toilet roll tubes?
Yes.
That's what they mean by cardboard tube fighting. So there is this organisation called the Cardboard Tube Fighting League. It's a global organisation.
We should try this after the show.
And basically, the tournament consists of battles where you get you get cardboard and you make your armour and your helmet. Everything's out of cardboard.
Damn.
And then you sword fight, and the winner is the person that can break the other person's cardboard. It's such a cool sport. The sport was founded on these 3 principles, which is that people need more ways to play. Principle 1. People need to take themselves less seriously.
That's a good one.
And that events can be fun without alcohol. That was the other reason. There's no alcohol involved. And the fact that cardboard sword fighting is fun.
Excellent.
So yeah, and our final question in the strange sports quiz. The sport of wife carrying.
Wow.
Wife carrying.
I know that's true.
Yes, it's a sport. Originated in what country? Is it A, Scotland, B, Norway, or C, Finland?
Wow.
Finland or Norway?
A, Scotland, B. Norway. Is
There's
it?
video on YouTube, all these Swedish pizza things. Anyway, the chef is really aggressive. I'm gonna say Switzerland.
Scotland, Norway or Finland?
Oh, Scotland is one of them.
Scotland.
I'll say Norway.
Norway?
What was the options again?
Scotland, Norway, Finland.
I go for the lightest people there. Which ones are the lightest? Finland.
They're all white people.
No, the light, like,
Oh,
as in,
the
like weight.
really, the light
The
weight,
thin,
not the
thin,
light skin.
wavy
Okay.
ones, because they can't carry us here.
No, they can't.
Try.
Quick, Scotland, Norway, Finland.
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 I'll go with Scotland.
Well, the answer is Finland.
Oh.
Finland is the birthplace of wife carrying, a sport which sees the male competitors race through an obstacle course carrying a female teammate, or AKA their wife, on their back.
Okay.
And in Finland, the traditional thing in Finland where this sport originated from, the first prize is the weight of your wife in beer.
Oh, mate.
So if you win, the weight of your wife in beer. So you win like 50 kilos worth of beer.
Mate, it's like 130 kilos
So
worth
the
of
thing
beer.
is, like, do you want a light wife so that you can win, or do you want a heavy wife so that when you win more beer?
That's the most
Ooh.
romantic
These are the
thing I've ever
things.
heard.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna see
This
you guys.
is a very
I'm gonna
important question.
head off to Finland.
Yes, people out there are sure into a lot of crazy things. That's our strange sports quiz for today. We didn't keep score, but that's not the point of this game at all. It's just to see how crazy people are out there. It's time for us to take a very quick break now. We'll be back with more soon. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. Well, we're almost out of time today, but before we go, a quick final word from each of our panellists and our guest today. Isabel, do you have anything you'd like to say on any of the topics we've been discussing on the show today?
All right, I can't wait. I want to check out this Equal Playing Field program. I actually want to involve some of my brothers and sisters in it. So if you see any programs out there for young people, be sure to get into it. Like if you're out there not doing anything, just sitting back, relaxing, get out there. Don't sit at home. Get out there and do something. Yeah.
Yeah. Grow.
Yeah.
That's how you grow. Filmer.
Yeah, really exciting. Thanks, Jackie, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. In terms of relationships with men and women, if you are in the friend zone, stay in the friend zone. Don't move out of the friend zone unless you are invited, please. And I want to go to Finland because I think 130 kilos of beer is worth.
I think that's you and me. We're on the same page.
Champion. Jackie.
Yeah, well, first of all, ladies, it's been a real honor to be sitting down with you all. I've always heard about MTV. It's the first time for me to come and visit the set and be part of the program. So really huge thank you to you three ladies. And for anybody who's watching and is interested in the work of Equal Playing Field, in a year we recruit 2 times in a year. So if you're interested in volunteering for Equal Playing Field, we'll be opening up applications in September. And please check out on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page that says Equal Playing Field. And once you keep following us, you'll be updated with this work we're doing. And you'll also be able to catch our call for applications, which comes out in September. And please apply. Volunteering is a great way for you to be exposed to a lot of good things that a lot of young people like us are doing.
Yeah, certainly is. And for my final word, I want to play a short clip from the Commonwealth Young Person of the Year award ceremony. It's just a few short words from the Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland when she presented Jackie with her award.
All of them.
And the winner is
Jacqueline Joseph.
Now, Jacqueline, it gives me great pleasure to give this to you, not only because you are an exceptional young woman, but because you've done so much to help put a balm on the pain and the suffering that comes from victims of domestic violence. And I want to thank you on behalf of all those women, all those girls, but also all those men whose families will be radically different because of the work that you've done. And on behalf of all of us, thank you so much.
Look, amazing words, and Jackie, I think she just summed up perfectly the incredible impact that the work that you do is having on our young people.
Oh, thanks to my team. I've got a great working team.
Yeah. As always, these things can't happen without the support around you. Yeah. So thank you, and I'd like to applaud you. Thank you for coming on our show. Amazing work with our young people. Like you, I believe in our kids. They're the future. And I hope your achievements can inspire many other young people. I think it's already inspired Izzy. She's going to be signing up to do some work with the Equal Playing Field soon. And thanks, of course, Izzy, for joining in and filling in for Cleo.
Worries.
Thank you, Philly, always. Wonderful to have you on. And thank you all out there as well for joining us on the program. We've got to say goodbye now. We hope to see you next time on Point of View. See you later.